I have to let this out, because keeping it buried has been tearing me apart. Maybe it'll make sense to you. Maybe it won't. But if you've ever loved someone so deeply only to find out it wasn't enough to make them stay, then you might feel this down to your bones. The night I walked away, something inside me cracked and shifted for good. I didn't realize then how far that fracture would spread. I only knew that months later I'd still be sitting here, trying to sort through the wreckage of something I once believed was unbreakable. I thought I was strong enough to leave without falling apart. The truth was, I was already shattered before my hand touched the doorknob. I can still see the room, our living room with that second-hand rug. The same rug where we laughed, dreamed, and promised forever. A forever that slipped right through our fingers. Then she said it. Michael makes me feel alive. Her voice was barely a whisper, but the blow landed harder than any scream. I didn't demand details. I didn't argue. I didn't even meet her eyes. Tears burned, but I refused to let them fall. Not in front of her. Not after that. All I managed was, I hope he gives you what you're looking for. Even then, I knew I was lying, because deep down, I prayed what she wanted wasn't real. I wanted her to see that I was the one who stayed, the one who showed up when no one else did. But I didn't fight for her, because begging someone to stay after they've already imagined life without you is just another way of dying slowly. So I left, not because I'd stopped loving her, but because I knew she was already gone. The nights that followed were brutal. Sleep abandoned me. Food turned to ash in my mouth. I hid out in a cheap motel 40 minutes from the home we'd built. Silence pressed down on me as I stared at the ceiling, replaying every misstep, every word I should have said. My phone lit up with calls from friends and family. I ignored them all. I couldn't stand their pity. Eventually, I found myself in a small apartment. No memories of her, no traces of us. Just mine. I picked up shifts at a hardware store to fill the empty hours. The owner, an older man, never asked questions. Maybe since I wasn't there for a paycheck, so much as for a reason to keep moving. Days blurred into weeks, and slowly a rhythm formed. I painted walls. I brought home a rescue dog. Penny. She didn't fix me, but she gave me something to come back to, a reason to get out of bed. I realized I didn't miss Brooke. Not really. I missed the idea of her, the version in my head who would always choose me, who would never walk away. That version had never existed. By 6 months, breathing didn't feel like a battle anymore. I started small conversations at work. Grabbed coffee with someone once. Even smiled without forcing it. It wasn't love. Not even close. But it was a step forward. For the first time, Brooke didn't haunt my every thought. 9 months later, I felt steady. Not healed completely, but steady. I wasn't chasing answers. I wasn't waiting for closure. I'd already carved out my own. And then she came back. It was a Thursday. I just finished work, covered in sawdust, groceries in my arms. As I unlocked the door, I heard my name, Michael. I froze. She was standing there. Brooke. Same face, but worn, hollowed out. Her eyes were swollen, and in her hands was a letter. I've been trying to find you, she said, voice trembling. I nodded, heart pounding, but stayed silent. She held out the letter. Everything I never said. Everything I should have told you. I didn't take it. Not because I hated her, but because I refused to go back to the place where her choices defined my worth. Tears streamed down her face. And for a split second, the old me stirred. The man who would have invited her in, made tea, offered another chance. But that man no longer existed. Months of pain had reshaped me. I lied about Jason, she confessed through sobs. I thought I needed more, but it was nothing. He didn't want me, just a thrill. I ruined us. You were the only one who ever made me feel alive. I looked at her and for a flicker of time saw the woman I once loved. But she wasn't her anymore, and I wasn't me anymore either. You didn't destroy us, Brooke, I said quietly. You destroyed yourself. Her face crumbled. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded. I hope you heal. But I'm not yours anymore. Her tears came harder, but I didn't reach out. That wasn't my place. She turned and walked away, just as I had nearly a year earlier. Inside, I set down the groceries and sat beside Penny. My chest ached, but not with longing. This time, it hurt because the last thread tying me to her had finally snapped. And in the empty space it left behind, there was peace. If someone tells you they found more outside of what you built, let them go. Don't plead. Don't chase. Just walk away. Because the greatest thing you'll ever discover is an answer, and it isn't revenge.